Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all to today's English class. Today we will discuss a poem from the book First Flight, that is Amanda, written by Robin Glenn. So, first of all, let's know about this great poet. Robin Glenn is an Australian author of books for children. She was born on 28 February 1936 in New South Wales and now resides near Melbourne. She had her first short story published at the age of 16. Several of her books have been listed for CBCA Children Book of the Year award. Hallway Across the Galaxy, Turn Left, and Boss of the Pool are some of her famous writings. Now, children, this poem Amanda. It is about children life. Children, the greatest wealth that a child wants to possess is freedom. No one likes to be constantly nagged or unwanted instructions or overprotection by the parents. Amanda is the story of a young girl who is constantly controlled and instructed to do one thing or the other by her parents. Now, how does she feel? What does she want to do in all these circumstances? This is all a part of this poem. Let's read and find out what she desires. Now, the first stanza that is given is: Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Now, there is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So now these are the 6 lines given. First 3 lines are spoken by her mother, Amanda's mother. She is instructing her to do the things. And the bracketed lines, which are the last 3 lines, these are the lines in which she imagines to fly to other world. She wants to be at some different place. She wants to escape from that place. So that is a part of her imagination. Okay, so let's read. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. So these are all the common instructions given by the parents. Don't bite your nails. Don't hunch. Hunch means don't bend your shoulders. Sit straight and stop that slouching. Don't sit in a lazy way and sit up straight, Amanda. All these are the instructions passed on by her mother. Now, after these instructions, she imagines she just want to escape from that world, and she imagines to be in the quiet emerald sea. There is a languid emerald sea. Languid means relaxed. Emerald sea. Emerald is green in color. There is green sea where the sole inhabitant is me, and what she desires, that she just want to go to sea, and it's a clean peaceful sea where she is the only one there and nobody is there to nag her, control her, and she just wants to be a mermaid drifting blissfully. Mermaid, you can say it's a girl, fish girl. Okay, you have heard about Jalpari. So it's a mermaid drifting blissfully. Drifting blissfully means she is carried slowly by the water happily, and she is enjoying in the water, and she just want to be far away from all that place. Okay, where nobody is there to control her, restrict her. Okay, so this is her imagination. Now, if we talk about the literary devices, repetition of the word Amanda is there, so this is repetition is there. Metaphor is used in the poem, that is emerald sea, it's metaphor. Okay, and mermaid, she imagines her to be a mermaid, so it is metaphor also in that word also. Rhyme scheme is A, and the second stanza it is A. It is the same. See me blissfully. So all these are A. So these are the devices, and some more are given, like assonance is also there. Okay, use of vowel sound. As now you know all these devices well. Assonance is use of vowel sound. Don't hunch your shoulders. Examples are also given. And metaphor, I already told you. Repetition is there. Imagery, drifting blissfully, you can note down this one also. Imagery, imagination, where it is imagine drifting, she is moving in the water happily. Alliteration is there, stop that slouching. And illusion, mermaid is a well known imaginary creature, so that is illusion is also created. So all these are the literary devices. And in the first line, if we can check don't, so it is anaphora also. So these are the literary devices used. Now the next one, did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So now in the next lines, again, mother is asking her whether she has completed her work, whether she has cleaned her room, whether she has cleaned her shoes. Okay, so all these are the common instructions given by the parents. And now in the next lines, what she imagines, in the next line she imagines that I am an orphan. Now this is I is Amanda here, so she feels that I am an orphan. Orphan is I am without parents, nobody is there to control me. Roaming the street, I am roaming in the street quite peacefully, and I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. Hushed bare feet, that there is, now it's very calm cool place and nobody is there, and she is roaming in the street like the orphan children, and she is making pattern on the soft dust because she is having no shoes in her feet, and she is moving silently, she is making all the, she is leaving the footprints of her feet. And the silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. And what she says, and I'm silently enjoying my time, and it's golden period of my life, silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So she is enjoying that time with herself. Okay, nobody is there to control her. So now children, if we talk about the literary devices, again rhyme scheme is same, assonance is there, thought, told, you, your, shoes. Okay, thought in the third line it is assonance is there, metaphor, silence is golden. Okay, silence is said to be glorious like golden color, freedom is sweet, it is sweet in taste, so this is metaphor. And she imagines herself to be orphan, so this is also metaphor. All these are there. Okay, anaphora is there, did you, so anaphora is also there. So all these are the literary devices in the second and third stanza. Now the next one, don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? So now it is given that don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. So again, these are the common instructions by the parents. So what they say, that don't eat the chocolate, and especially to the girls, because they would get develop acne, okay, pimples, and that would lose the beauty of their face. So they just ask them to not to take too much chocolates. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda, and just look straight in my eyes when I'm talking to you. So this is there. Then what she imagines to be, I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. So now what is given? Rapunzel is actually a beautiful girl with long hair. Actually, in the it is a story where the girl Rapunzel, she was put in a tower, okay, and she was captivated there. Then a prince comes, and when the prince comes, she let down her hair, and the prince climbs up through the hair and saves the girl. So this is there. So now she also wants to be a Rapunzel. She wants to be live the life of a Rapunzel in a tower. Okay, I have not a care. I have no stress, no worries. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. And what she says, that life in a tower is quite peaceful, silent, quiet, and rare. And I will certainly never let down my bright hair. But what she wants, she does not want to let her hair down to allow anybody to come up. Okay, I will certainly never let down my bright hair, because she wants freedom. She wants to live alone all the time. She imagines her to be in a sea, emerald sea like a mermaid. Second, she wants to be in as an orphan roaming in the streets. And the third one, she wants to enjoy her life like a Rapunzel, but she wants to live alone. She would not allow any prince to come and save her life. Okay, so this is the third one given. Now the illusion. Again, illusion is created. Rapunzel is a fairy character. Rhyme scheme is same. Assonance is there. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you? The third line there is assonance, consonance, use of sound R. I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. So in this line, R is repeated. So this is consonance. So all these are the literary devices. Okay, and the next one is given. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So now it's the last stanza. It is given. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. Don't be in a bad mood, Amanda. Don't behave like that. Don't be upset always. You are always so moody. So you are unstable. Moody is unstable. You are sometime you are happy, sometime you are very sad. You are so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Ki I harass you, I control you. That's why you are always upset. So this is what this poem is all about, Amanda. That how her mother instructs her, asks her to do certain things, and to she feels that she should escape from this world and go to some other world like a mermaid, like an orphan, or a Rapunzel. So this is the poem, and alliteration is again there in this stanza. Stop that sulking, repetition, use of the word Amanda, and rhyme scheme. This is again okay, the same rhyme scheme is same. So the three lines it is same, A, and in the third line it is B. So A. This is the rhyme scheme for all the stanzas. Okay, so this is the poem. And if we talk about some other questions, so what is the message of this poem? The poem conveys the message that excessive nagging makes children unhappy, and as they grow up, they turn deaf ear to the instructions of the elders. Because when you are nagging, you are controlling, you are trying to control your children all the time. So later on, what they do, they stop listening to the instruction of the parents. So they develop a kind of dislike for real life and start escaping into the world of dreams and imagination. So they just want to escape from that world. Okay, so she is a 9 to 10-year-old school girl. So that I have told you. And is Amanda really sulking? No, Amanda is not sulking and moody. She is fed up of the scolding of her elders and wants to escape the reality and go into another world. When her mother shouts at her, she is lost in her own world of imagination. She yearns for freedom and tranquility, peace. So, okay, so this is all about the poem. Question answers and the other things would be sent to you through WhatsApp. With that, thank you.